Now it's time to talk about customizing reports and then also how to create report folders. And so I'm in the Reports tab, and that brings me to the Reports and Dashboards screen. And to create a new report folder, I just simply click this icon here that shows a folder with a starburst next to it. You can create a new report folder or a new dashboard folder. Now, for example, here is a dashboard folder that has this bar graph icon, and then the other folders are report folders. So I'm going to create a new report folder. Then you just give it a unique name and click save. And so now we've got a new report folder. And so I want to show how to customize reports. I'm going to do so by accessing a report in this unfiled public reports folder that we were saving reports to earlier when we created a new one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up one of these previously created reports that we created in a previous lecture and then make some edits and save it. And so this is my contact matrix report. And so in order to customize a report, you just click customize. And in this matrix report, as a reminder, I dragged the account name to do a row grouping, and then I dragged the last modified date for a column grouping. And so let's say that I wanted to do the column grouping by a different field. What I could do is remove the last modified date. So instead I could group by something, for example, like lead source. Now I can click save as. I don't want to overwrite my existing contact matrix report, but I'm going to save a new version of this, and I'm going to save it to my newly created reports folder called Mike's Reports. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this contacts matrix grouped by lead source. And you could add a description here to help you remember exactly what this report contains. I'm going to click save and run report. And so now we've got this new report, and it shows the grouping by account and then also by lead source for the column. So you can see on the account level that some of these contacts have a lead source populated, not all of them. So that's why some of these numbers appear to be off. So we've got one person that was a lead source from a purchase list, and then the other two did not have a lead source associated with them. Then down here under Athena products, this contact named Kristen Aiken had a lead source of web, and so then Burlington Textiles, lead source of web, Dickinson PLC, Andy Young came via a purchase list, etc. So let's go to a different report, one that's a little more easy to look at. Let's find one that's out of the box, such as a sales report, and then sales by account. And this is just a basic report. I'm going to click customize, and this is in tabular format. And if I wanted to do summary, I could summarize by account, for instance. I could search for that here. So now I'm going to go ahead and run the report to get a fuller view of what this report looks like now. So now if I want to customize this report further, there's other ways that you can customize reports. You can add bucket fields. So one type of bucket that you can add to a report is a numeric bucket, and a good example of that would be an opportunity report. So I've clicked on the opportunity reports folder, and then I'm going to click on the opportunity pipeline report. And so now if I want to customize this report, I just click customize. Then I'm going to scroll over to the right until I find the amount field. And you see this down arrow that appears when I hover over this column. I can click that, and there's a few things you can do in addition to the sort order of a column. And I want to bucket this field. And so now I need to add a name to this bucket. So I'm going to call this deal size. And then we assign different ranges for these numeric ranges for these deals. So I'm going to say anything that is less than $20,000. I'm going to call that small. And then you notice the next line has anything greater than 20,000. We're going to call that medium. Then I'm going to add a line. And so you notice here, I'm going to say that 20,000 to 100,000. I'm going to call that medium. And then anything that's greater than 100,000, I'm going to call large. And then I'm also going to treat empty amount values in the report as zeros. And so I'm going to click OK. And now we've created our three buckets, a small, a medium, and a large. So now I'm going to remove some of these columns from this report to make this more visible and usable. Once again, to remove those, you just click and drag over to the left. And so you notice now my bucket, it's quantifying these deals as either small, medium, or large. So for example, we see this deal for an amount of $15,000 that falls under the small amount. And if I scroll down here, the one that's worth $250,000 is large, and this one that's $80,000 falls in the medium bucket. So I'm going to save this as a bucket example. I'm going to save this in my Mike's Reports folder. Click Save and Run Report. So let me customize this further. And so now I can actually drag the deal size in order to group. So this report was previously grouped by stage, but if I want to group further by deal size, I just drag it here, and I want to remove the stage grouping. So now I've grouped my records by deal size instead of stage in this report. So I've got 7 records that fall in the small bucket, and I have 4 that fall in medium and 4 that fall in the large bucket. So now if I click add chart, I can actually add a chart to this report, and this is what a dashboard in Salesforce looks like. We're using this report to generate the data and present it in a graphical fashion. And so one way to represent this is through a pie chart, and we've got our small, medium, and large wedges by deal size. And then we could have, instead of the sum of the amount, because the large ones will have a lot greater amount in their opportunity, I could do record count, and that way it gives me an idea of the number of deals that fall in each of the buckets. So if I click OK, I now have a chart added to the top of my report. And so now if I click save and close, I'll go ahead and click save and close just to be safe. I now have my bucket example in my report folder. And so it's a nice looking report with a chart included. It gives me my small, medium, and large deal sizes. And that was my bucket field on this report. So that's just one example of what you can do with buckets in reports. You could go a lot more in depth in reports and dashboards, and I am considering doing a course related just to reports and dashboards, because you could spend several hours learning all the ins and outs of what's available on the analytics side of Salesforce. But for now, as an end user, this gives you an idea of what a bucket field looks like and even how it's configured and set up as well. So if we scroll down here to the bottom of this report, I want to draw your attention to this drill down area. You can check rows to filter and then drill down further. So let's say that we want to drill down on just the medium and the large deals. And these are deals that fall inside the range for the medium and large buckets. So let's drill down by lead source for our medium and large deals to see where those are deriving from. So now we've drilled down further into the medium and large deal size opportunities, and we see that some of these have no lead source. It looks like half have no lead source. The next biggest segment, which looks to be about 25%, is external referral. And then the remaining quarter of this pie chart is split between employee referral and phone inquiry. So we see, as far as lead source go in a visual representation, that external referral is our best lead source right now. So if I scroll down further for the drill down, it's grouped by lead source, and it gives the number of 4 records that have no lead source, 1 record phone inquiry, 1 lead source of employee referral, and 2 lead sources for external referral. Other things that you can do with reports is you can export the details. This is a really nice feature. You can export to Excel or a comma separated value file. And so all you do is you click export, and that sends a Excel or CSV file to your downloads folder, whether you're on Mac or PC. And when you're done, you just click done. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about Salesforce report scheduling and automation.